How you doing? Scotty Bear back with another video. This video about all the ways you can use to cross the border to save you time and money. I have crossed the border all the way east from as far as Brownsville to as far west as the Chaparral in Tijuana, crossing the San Ysidro daily. And I have crossed the border as early as 15 years old to get nunchucks, switchblades, firecrackers, donkey shows, porky pig shows. Don't worry, they use a carpet for protection, and you're gonna have to Google to see what I mean. But from all the experience I have from crossing the border in Tijuana for the longest period of time, if you're looking to commute back and forth, you are going to give up 3 hours of your day. That's from door to door. That's from out the door to get a route taxi, to get a regular taxi, to get in line walking, to get in the ready lane, to get in the regular lane, to get in the century lane, to take and cross, to get on the blue line, to get an Uber, to get a van, to go to LA, to also make your way back in the line going back. Now the United States is checking you to go back, and to cross over, fight the traffic, to get back to Playas, to get back to Rosarito, to wherever you're headed. I'm about to cover it all. Number one, walking. If you go early in the morning, you could probably bank on being delayed by kids. That's right. Kids in the morning get to walk right up to the line and cut everybody off, even though everybody's working in line. I used to actually like the old line because at least you could get some, coffee or chaparrado or whatever you need. And, the vendors there always kept it entertaining. But the new chaparral, really stops people from coming up in the line, and you can't even get any water. But the line is never been longer. There was an article back in 2018 where they had like these plans where it was going to be less than 30 minutes to cross the border, which I believe really helped Tijuana. And actually, there is a current plan to make another port of entry, but I am convinced that's not going to help. If you cross the line for any length of time, it doesn't feel like the CBT really has any motivation to move the line along. That being said, one of the best ways if you walk is to meet lots of people and belong to the Facebook groups like Como Está Línea, Como Está what's that place called? Mesa. Oh boy, gonna blow it on the video. But meeting lots of people will help you coordinate and, find other people in line that you can meet up with and cut off all the people that are not in the know. Another way that you can cut off some time is find yourself an old person. That's right. I used to be friends with this old guy that was kind of blind and deaf and, walked with his cane. And I used to, every time he would go to line, I'd help him out and cross with him. And it was able to, go up to the front and cut on through because I was his helper. Next way, let's see here. Ready lane really never seemed to pan out, but most of the newer passports already have the chip inside. You could also get a ready lane card for about $35 to $55, depending on what the current price is. The problem with the ready lane in the drive is that most people, even though they don't have ready lane, just go on through anyway. Even with birth certificates, regular papers, no papers, maybe one person's got a ready lane, but that really slows things down. And the ready lane in some cases could be longer than the regular motor line, but that's not to say the motor line, that the regular pedestrian motor line, wherever you want to call it, is some of the longest waits that I've had. I mean, really, one time I was on my birthday, we were headed out to Las Vegas, and we spent 4 hours in line. Thank God we had enough marijuana to make it up to the border to smoke along the way. But the regular line is a bit of a racket too. Boy. So let's move on to motorcycles. Motorcycles is the hack, right? I mean, motorcycles kind of go back a little ways, even to regular bicycles. If you cross the line for maybe 10, 15, 20 years, it could be that long ago, you used to be able to rent bikes, buy bikes, and people would get these to kind of bypass the line and go up in the bicycle lane, which I believe kind of was the beginning of the motorcycle lane. If you follow or been crossing for a while, I'm sure you've seen the motorcycles cut through the traffic and then make their way up and cut everybody off. I actually talked to one of the CBT guys there, and I was like, what's the deal with the motorcycles? They actually at one point, I think, were going to make a motor lane for just the motorcycles. I'm not sure whatever happened to that, but still it continues to be this unsavory way to cross the line, mostly for the people in line. I mean, if you're 20 cars back waiting on the final approach, as I like to call it, the last 7 or 8 cars that go into the barriers, which at that point you're pretty much in the United States, and that's where you'll see the dogs and stuff like that. But they go up there and muscle their way in just a complete disregard for all the people that have been waiting hours and cut in line. Now, I'm not sure that I would want to do this. However, if I crossed the line and lived in Mexico every day, I would probably do it because, frankly, there is probably no better way to cross the line. However, you are riding a motorcycle around Tijuana. I have seen more than a few people killed on motorcycles. The Uber drivers, pizza drivers, just people in motos in general, driving around town, completely just boom, laid out flat. Horrible sight. That's for sure. But also, from driving around Tijuana in general, I feel like they are more prepared to deal with motorcycle riders, where in the United States, it seems like, people on their phone, texting on their phone, it seems like you would probably get killed easier in the United States than you would in Tijuana, just my experience. But also with the addition of gravel, it's not very appetizing way. Plus, when you're weaving your way down to the final approach, I guess what it would be called, I've seen drivers take shots at these guys and shoot dirty gestures at them, all the above. I mean, it takes a lot of balls to just take your bike down there and cut people off. I really feel like that. Let's go to the Century Lane and the ace in the hole. This is Century Lane, of course, is the pre-screened card that they have, allowing people to have a good amount of flexibility. That does not mean you get Century Lane back, but you do get Century Lane across. It at least makes things slightly more predictable. I feel like the whole line would be a lot better, of course, if the CBT would be, more, I guess helpful, more mindful of the line and the amount of people just sitting there waiting. I tell you, that was probably the reason why I'm not in Tijuana today. Certainly doesn't stop me to see all the heads I've seen hanging from bridges, all the murders I've seen, all the people, it's some stories for another video. But the ace in the hole has to be that one Sunday I was fed up. I mean, the ready lane was just so far back there. The regular lane was back on, Avenues, Heroes of the Children, or whatever it's called. I mean, it was long as hell. So what did I do? I just jumped into the Century Lane, and I just told the cop or the CBT guy, I said, look, there are 3 little entry points there. One is a middle lane that goes over the top of the lines, and, you can continue on the Rapida. The other one, I guess, closest to the border would be the Century. And then, of course, the Ready Lane. I just went in there and told the cop, hey, I blew it, and there was people behind me. I couldn't get out, and, here I am. And it worked. I was able to get by. However, I have heard rumors of them trying to fine people, but I don't believe it. But that doesn't mean they won't send you to secondary and cause you all kinds of headaches. So you have to be convincing. The ready lane, again, I actually heard they were trying to do something similar to that. Maybe not charging as much as they were having people, make sure they have their ready lane documents versus just run of the mill documents. That's one of the major problems that they've had with the ready lane is people just don't care. I mean, that's one of the bottom lines. They just go in the line and they don't care. It's faster, great, let's go on that, and they deal with it at the line. Now, like I said before, if you're crossing, I mean, from it, maybe the Century is going to trim off some of that time, but you are looking to really commit up to 3 hours a day. I took a large sample of my crossing times while I was staying, living in Tijuana, surfing, all the above. And basically, I feel like on average, you're looking at 3 hours of your time just completely gone that you are spending waiting in line, which, again, like I said, I jumped out. Now, most of the other port of entries, like I said, I've crossed everywhere: Brownsville, Juarez, Nogales, Yuma. God, it's all over. Mexicali, yeah, you name it, I've been there, and it's not the same experience, that's for sure. It's kind of refreshing to be able to go over in different places and not have to wait so long. Tijuana, like I said, they do have plans at trying to make another port of entry. Even here in El Paso, Texas, they have 6, I believe, ports of entry where people can cross. The ready lane failed, experiment maybe, but even at one of the ports here, they charge you 10 pesos to cross and 5 pesos to cross back. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're crossing, yo comprendo. I pray for you. Have a wonderful Saturday afternoon.